Today we are digging into a feature-packed, beautifully designed, non-custodial Bitcoin Lightning wallet that is Blixt Wallet. And I gotta say, this thing is impressive. Let's jump in. Welcome back to another video. My name is Ian Major. I'm an entrepreneur, Bitcoin pleb, and all-around raging capitalist, and I'm excited to do today's video in particular because it is a direct request from you all. This is directly from some of your comments on prior videos, and so I hope you enjoyed today's video because I know I enjoyed making it. Blixt Wallet is truly impressive, packed with features, and what I like about it is this design philosophy of not hiding everything, but at least putting it behind a nice interface so that you can use it in a simple manner if you wish, but there's also all the kind of advanced features at your fingertips that you can access as well. This thing allows you to manage Lightning channels, which is very unique. And so we'll talk about some of the features that I think make Blixt Wallet a really solid choice for a non-custodial Bitcoin Lightning wallet. So you are not going to want to miss a thing from today's video. For those returning to the channel, welcome back, my friends. As always, it is a pleasure to have you. And for those new to the channel, I welcome you as well. I know 80% of you watching right now are not currently subscribed. So if you like this type of content, I invite you to come along for the journey and join us in our growing merry gang in cyberspace. I cover all manner of Bitcoin related content, including tutorials such as this. You want it, I cover it, and today's video is a testament to exactly that. So with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump in. I want to first start with just an overview of some of the unique features of Blixt, and then we're going to go and dive into a tutorial itself. All right, so I just want to quickly overview some of the key features. So if you go to blixtwallet.com, you will be directed to blixtwallet.github.io, and you should see something similar to this. So this is available both on Android and Apple. And very excitingly, if we come over to their Twitter, we can see that they actually have a desktop version coming out, which I actually think is really cool. So again, this is a non-custodial, great option for self-sovereignty on the Lightning Network. It uses LND as the Lightning implementation and Neutrino, which is a lightweight backend node for Bitcoin. What's pretty cool is like this is an actual deployment. Like you can actually play around with this on the website. So if you want to try it out before giving it a go, that's a very nice way to do so. As again, I'll go through a full walkthrough in just a moment. And it's easy to get started, but there's also a lot of different features packed in. So for example, when you send on-chain funds to Blixt Wallet, it's going to automatically open channels on your behalf. But you can also disable that by going to settings and unchecking automatically open channels. So that's there for ease of use. But with that being said, you actually have the option to come over and manage Lightning channels directly in the app, which is very cool. So this would be an example of what gets created kind of automatically, but you can create and open new channels with their nodes. By the way, if you are newer to the Lightning Network, I would recommend checking out some of my earlier videos. I've done everything from an overview of the Lightning Network itself and how it works, to some more kind of foundational walkthroughs, all the way up to more advanced how to run a Lightning node, opening channels, managing liquidity, all that good stuff. So I would recommend you taking a look at the playlist that I will link in the description down below. But this is very cool, right? Even compared to an alternative such as Breeze Wallet, this is a very nice additional feature that you get with Blixt. In addition, something I really like about Blixt is it is just on the cutting edge of Lightning. The main contributor is Hampus. I won't attempt to butcher his last name here, but I mean, this guy is just on an absolute rampage. So you've got a number of really cool features. One piece is a full integration of LNURL. So for those who are not familiar, LNURL is basically helps with communication between Lightning wallets and external applications, third-party services. So it enables different things like reusable invoices. For merchants, you can embed, pictures, which would be useful for, I'm buying a product. I can actually, see what that product is. So there's different use cases that are very useful for merchants looking to accept payments over Lightning. Also supports Lightning address. So these are more or less analogous to email addresses, right? You can claim one on a particular, you can claim it through one of the available kind of services, but this is very cool. So you could have, Ian at zbd.gg, right? And you could just, for wallets that support Lightning addresses, you could just use that to send. So it could be similar to like a Venmo username, type deal. So that's very cool as well. KeySend is embedded in here, which enables you to just pay someone without them having to first generate an invoice, which is very, very cool. And you also have this Dunder LSP. So this is a Lightning service provider that basically provides kind of on-demand channel openings, meaning that if it's detected that a wallet is getting an inbound payment while not having any inbound capacity, Dunder will open a channel to the wallet in an amount equal to that inbound payment minus the on-chain fee. Again, I've talked a lot about the potential challenge of inbound liquidity in other videos, so I would encourage you to check those out. But Dunder LSP is a really, really interesting option. And these are just examples of some of the things that are going to make the Lightning Network more and more usable. Last important comment I'll make here is that this app is still in beta. So for example, I'm not sure how the process works with Android, but for example, on iPhone, if you were to download it on the App Store, it's actually going to first prompt you to get something called Test Flight. If you don't already have that, you can get that easily on the App Store. And then once you have that, you can join the beta for Blix. And so it sort of goes without saying, treat this as an early product. I think Hampus has, done that quite conservatively. And importantly, you'll also see where appropriate different features such as the Dunder LSP, right? Highly experimental. So it's going to give you some help text within the app itself for certain features, but just know that the app in its entirety is still in beta. But I didn't want to wait because this thing is just very, very cool. And so it just goes without saying, don't put a ton of funds in this until it is a more sort of mature product. But there you have it. Let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, so I have simply chosen the Apple option from blixtwallet.com. I've got Test Flight installed, so that is all good. And I'll come down and say start testing in step 2. And there we go. So we'll go ahead and accept and install. Let's go ahead and open this guy up. So it gives some context on the current version. That is fine. This is basically just part of any kind of app that's in Test Flight. So you can take a screenshot and it gives you the option to send it directly to the developer. Fine. So let's go ahead and create a wallet. It says, warning, Blix Wallet is still at an early stage of development. If you use this wallet, make sure you understand that you may lose your funds. There is currently no Watchtower support to watch your channels while you are offline. So that's important. So what this is, if you're not familiar, on the Lightning Network, you open channels, right? And channels can also be closed to settle back onto on-chain. There can be forced channel closures. And so what happens is if someone's trying to be malicious, they could close a channel and broadcast a false balance that favors them more than it should. For example, if you go offline, and so you could come back online and basically reject that proposal and say, no, this is actually the correct state of balances that should be settled on-chain. A Watchtower is basically a service that helps watch those instances, helps protect against malicious channel closings. That's fine. I'm reckless. Let's continue. You can choose to accept notifications. I'll do that just for the moment. And so to get started, we need to send some on-chain funds to the address that is conveniently presented right here. And it gives a suggestion of what to send. But basically it says a channel will be automatically opened for you. And that's really nice. Again, you can, if you wish, change that by going to the settings, coming down, and unchecking automatically open channels. That being said, that's a nice feature just to get started quickly, so I am going to keep it on for now. But again, you do have the option to change that if you wish. So what I'm going to do is copy the on-chain address. I'm going to come over to Blue Wallet that I have open somewhere here, and I'm going to continue, and let's just send a bit of Bitcoin. So let's Let's do 50,000 sats. So go ahead, next. Okay, so we've sent that. And now we're going to give this transaction a chance to settle on chain. While we are waiting for the on-chain confirmations, just take a quick tour of some of the settings. So we've gone to this gear wrench before, but just to go through this a little more methodically, push notifications, you can change different general settings there. You can reveal the mnemonic for your wallet. You can export the channel backups for your Lightning channels. Of course, there are none currently set up as we have not yet done anything. That's very nice and is very important. And that is a good point, right? I mean, do keep in mind, like if you have channels that are open, the expectation is that your client is expected to stay online. You know, if you go offline for an extended period of time, your peer on the other side of that channel may close the channel out. So, you know, do keep that in mind when using an app like this. But you can do channel backups in a variety of ways, which is great. You can add a PIN code for additional security, which is nice. Got a number of different display options. You can specify a Bitcoin node if you want. So this is using the BIP157, which is basically the kind of lightweight node. So this is the sort of Bitcoin backend, and you can see it's connected to Blix Wallet's node. And take note of this mention at the bottom, Blix Wallet does not yet support Tor Onion v3 yet. Then you've got your different Lightning Network settings, so you can see the node data, right? So here is the node info. Again, we looked at that automatically open channels option. This is pretty cool. There's a couple options for acquiring inbound liquidity. So LNBig as well as Bitrefill Thor are two service providers where you can basically follow the instructions on either of these options. This will just take you to your phone's web browser, and then you can essentially follow the instructions and pay to have them open an inbound channel with you. So pretty cool stuff there. Number of miscellaneous options. You can sign messages with the wallet's key, which is nice. And then there are these different experimental options. So, you can enable, for example, the Dunder LSP. It says highly experimental. But again, that is a situation where if you're trying to receive liquidity into your Blix wallet and there is no inbound liquidity, what Dunder LSP will do is it will open a channel with you, which is pretty cool. And you'll see that when you select that, you've got an additional setting that appears up here, this set Dunder LSP, which is, of course, set to their kind of server. And they've also got multipath payments. So this is, again, Hampus is really, really, I think, locked in on the bleeding edge of Lightning. And so that is part of what I really like about Blixt. It is a great way to be able to play around with some of these features that really start to help solve for some of the potential problems with the Lightning. So multipath payments, as an example, basically allows, imagine I'm trying to send, 500,000 sats from A to B on the Lightning Network. Of course, that requires that if it's taking multiple hops to get from me to its destination, that means that there needs to be that amount of capacity in all these different channels. And sometimes that may just not be the case. And that's often why if your payment or transaction fails because it can't find a viable route, that could be a reason. And so instead of sending that big chunk of 500,000 sats, what if we broke that up and now 250,000 sats can go on one path and the other 250,000 can go on another path? That's basically what this multipath payments option would enable. So very, very cool there. And then there's a whole slew of these kind of debug features. So cool on the settings there. And then let's check out the left-hand side. So you've got this menu of options that comes down. So paste from clipboard is just an easy option if you have an address pasted from some other app. As we were discussing earlier, this has Lightning addresses embedded. So you can hit this option and enter someone's Lightning address to send some sats to them. You'll see this become a big, big part of the Lightning Network kind of everyday usage as more and more folks become aware of this and get their Lightning address. There's contacts and services where you can add Lightning addresses here and just have kind of a contacts book of them. There's this Lightning browser, which basically gives you a number of different stores and services. You can tip the developers, you have a number of different services and games and different things, basically for how you can use sats, which is always nice. On-chain option basically just gives you your on-chain addresses. Again, this is going to show by default on the main screen when you first start out because you need to fund your Lightning wallet. And then as we will discuss momentarily, we'll have a look at the Lightning channels once we have the on-chain transaction confirmed, and we'll have channels open automatically. But again, if we don't want to do that, we can disable that in the settings and have full control over how we open channels. We would just have to put the pub key information, the URI information in the node, the amount that we want to open, and then the fee rate we're willing to tolerate to get this channel open. So again, really, really cool stuff that you can do this directly in the app. I'm not really aware of many other options, many other non-custodial options for Lightning. I think Zeus LN would be the one that comes to mind. I'm not positive about Wallet of Satoshi. I haven't looked at that too closely, but that's, I think, really, really nice. And then finally, this advanced option. This is the key send. It's currently labeled as experimental. Key send is basically the feature that allows you to, if I want to send sats to, someone, that someone would typically have to create the invoice first and then send me the invoice. eSend is a feature that enables me to just send the sats. And so as you can see, eSend lets you pay either another Blix wallet or really any node that supports KeySend without requiring an invoice. And so you can either scan another wallet's QR code. So for example, if you're running like an Umbrel node, you can go to the Lightning tab in your Umbrel dashboard and click the 3 dots to generate your QR code. And that would allow you to key send directly to that node, or you can put in the public key. So really we went through pretty much everything, waiting for this on-chain transaction to settle, but let's give it another moment and then we'll come right back to check out some final pieces. All right, so we've got our first confirmation of the on-chain transaction, and we can now see that the new channel is in the process of being opened. So you can view the status, you can look at it in a block explorer if you would like. And it also, after you've done the first on-chain transaction in the wallet, it suggests making a backup, which is a good idea. So we'll go ahead and hit backup. And you get your seed phrase. Write this down and you can always look at it again in the settings. And then it gives you some other basic settings. So we'll give this a moment for the new channel to open and we'll be right back. All right, excellent. So we've got the channel opened as evidenced by the fact that we've got the balance here at the top. I did ape on fees just so I could do this demo a bit quicker, but there you have it. And so I can come over and go to Lightning channels and I can see that I've got my channel open. I can always close the channel to return this to my on-chain balance. And as we discussed, we can also open additional channels. Now you can see that I can send sats, but I can't actually receive any. That is absolutely expected, right? When you open a channel with someone else, you've got the outbound capacity so you can send out, but you don't have inbound capacity to receive in. And so again, just to emphasize, you can use the Dunder LSP if you wish to have it so that if you're being sent a payment and you have no inbound capacity, the Dunder LSP will take care of that for you. Let's, however, take a look at just some basic functions. We've got a few sats in our Lightning wallet. So why don't we send some sats out? And so I will come over to Blue Wallet. So let's receive some sats. Maybe let's do, I don't know, 1,000 sats. There you go. All right. So we've got our Lightning invoice. We'll come back over to Blixt. It identifies that we do have a invoice on our clipboard. And yes, we do wish to pay the invoice. So we've got that pasted in. It's got a recap and we'll hit pay. And there we go, payment sent, and indeed I can see the Blue Wallet notification that the invoice has been paid. So cool, pretty easy stuff and basic, that's kind of the basic method for sending sats. Let's try, I don't know if this will actually work, but let's try the advanced option with the key send. So what I'm doing is I'm going into my Umbrel node right now and I'm going to present the QR code. So I'm going to click the camera icon and I'll say yes. And there we go. So I've got my public key here. And let's just say, I don't know, let's do maybe 2,000 sats. And boom, that is really cool. Payment successful. So there was an issue. The camera option that I used to scan the QR code input into the public key field the full onion address for my node. And so it threw an error that said something like invalid vertex 67 expecting 33. And so I deleted the portion of the data that was pulled in by the QR code just to have the public key. All right, so we've tried a couple different methods of sending sats out through both the kind of traditional Lightning process of creating invoices as well as key send. And now I can come back up and take another look at the Lightning channels, and indeed I see that I have some inbound capacity now. I can receive 3,003 Satoshis. I went to the settings and changed the unit to Satoshis, so it makes it a little bit easier to see all of these numbers. And so there you have it. Now, let's come back and let's receive some sats, but let's kind of do a more significant amount than what we have the capacity to actually receive, and see if the Dunder LSP option, which we have enabled as a reminder, let's see if that actually works. So we'll go ahead and hit receive, and let's do something like, I don't know, 7,500 sats. And indeed it says a payment channel by Dunder LSP will be opened when this invoice is paid. We can say, what's this? And it just gives the description. So it's a Lightning service provider that automatically opens channels for you when you don't have enough inbound liquidity. This could be, for example, the case when you first start using Blix. And importantly, because this does require an unchained transaction, a transaction fee will be deducted. So that is all fine. Let's just go ahead and create the invoice. And it says channel opening. In order to accept a payment for this invoice, a channel on the Lightning Network has to be open. This requires a one-time fee of approximately 1,372 Satoshis. That's fine. Let's go ahead and proceed just for purposes of the demo. And so we now have the invoice that we can copy. And let's pop back over to Blue Wallet, and it detects that we have a invoice. Let's hit continue. And there we go. There's my request for 7,500 sats. We can go ahead and hit pay, and the payment is in transit. And there we go. So it's now opening a payment channel with the Satoshis that are pending, net of the fee that I'm paying for the on-chain process. And we can take a look at that new channel being open. So that is really, really cool, right? And I think this is, again, an example of something that's going to make the Lightning Network more and more usable. So you've got features in this to make ease of use easy while you're still doing a non-custodial option. And I think that's pretty cool. You know, if you don't want any of the automatic channel openings or any of that, and you want to have full control over everything, you can still do that as well. So I really like that everything is sort of here at your fingertips. There's kind of an easy mode, if you will, as well as a more kind of advanced mode of operation that you can use. So that's about it. We took a look at all the different settings, some of the different features in the left-hand menu. We took a look at a couple different ways to send payments as well as receive, including the optional Dunder LSP that will open a channel with you if you don't have any inbound capacity. And so with all of that, let's go ahead and wrap today's video up. All right, so there you have it. As promised, I told you this was going to be a good one. Honestly, I really, really like Blix Wallet. This goes right up there on my list of favorites. And I think it is a terrific option if you're looking for a non-custodial Bitcoin Lightning wallet. I think this is a great project to support and show some love for. But I'm curious to hear, what are your thoughts? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Are there other Lightning wallets you'd like to see covered? Again, I've done a whole slew of tutorials on some of them, but there are still others that are on the list to get to. So I'm keen to hear your thoughts, but I hope you found this valuable and useful. If you did, you already know what to do. Smash that like button. But for now, my friends, we'll go ahead and leave this here. As a reminder, every sat counts. And until next time, I'll see you then.